So I've been looking for a substitute for Auto-Tune or Melodyne. In other words, a way to fix small errors or small mistakes whenever I'm recording something. Then a developer reached out to me with an application called MusicPutty. And I said, sure, I'll check it out. And so I did. My first impressions of the application was like, oh my God, it's a subscription app. I said, oh wait, it's free. So I opened it up. I initially tried recording the audio on music memos, which is kind of like my workflow. It didn't really work out well because I needed the unlock to give it a go. Now, I decided to play by the rule of the application. I opened up the application, I recorded the audio, and I tried it. And oh my God, it is good. Like, I'm like, yes, this is what I needed. But it's still subscription. And then I have my own fears of subscription about like, what if the developer stops developing this thing? So I figured, you know what? What's the best way to get answers to this thing? No, not OpenAI. Asking the developer directly. And so I did. Today I went to go see the developer of this application. Let's get to it. Whoosh. 3, 2, 1. What up everyone, it's Tion the producer here. I'm currently in Toronto and I'm hanging out with the developer of MusicPutty. Yeah, like I'm actually there in person with the developer of the really awesome picture-taking app. I never thought like I meet like a developer because they're like mystical beings. You never see them. Like all you have to do is just like you check online. They bring out an awesome app and then you never see them again until the next update. But no, like it was really kind of, we decided like we just meet up and then yeah. So what got you into music production and developing apps?
So I'm myself is a composer and music producer. While I was actually in school, I tried to like make some money to sustain myself. And that's when I actually got into doing Android app and iOS. Everything just kept on going from there.
Really? Like how did the whole app development start? Like did you like have somebody who taught you this thing, or like had you developed an app before going into iOS?
Actually, no. I had a synthesizer called Shaper synthesizer. Mm-hmm. That was actually my first time writing C++ code.
Really?
Yeah, and that was like 20,000 line code. Before I did some web stuff at big corporations, and so, but I was not a mobile developer.
Really? So you used to develop web pages and then you went to mobile phones?
Yeah.
So what was that shift in mindset? Because I know HTML, to some people they're like, it's easy stuff because it's just a bunch of like, but what was that shift to think from, it's a website to, this is an actual app with Apple's rules and everything?
Yeah, like, I mean, the mobile is, they're so different, like especially for the audio stuff, because we are doing this real-time programming, which is totally a different game comparing to, let's say, you are doing some website in Node.js, right? So that's really difficult. And the part of why I'm doing this is just like I'm kind of like really like those kind of hardcore technical problems. That's why I'm doing it. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Now the other thing that just came to mind. Why iOS? Let's be real. There's Android, there's Windows, there's Mac, there's Linux, but why iOS?
Well, iOS definitely has a bigger community as of right now, but I'm doing both. I'm gonna actually move MusicPutty to Android eventually. And if you actually go on Android today, you can actually see my Shaper app, exactly the same app as the one on iOS, without UV3 support obviously, but the whole app is on Android.
Really?
Yeah.
So like you didn't struggle with like Apple's libraries and stuff, because like I know Apple makes a lot of like stuff. Okay, only works with iOS. Only like they don't like to share with other things.
Yeah. So the secret is I use Juice. So Juice is the library that allows me to basically build for all the platforms. Even MusicPutty, you don't see the Juice UI, but the engine part of them are written in Juice. So.
Okay, interesting. So is like Juice free to download, or do you have to pay for Juice?
You have to pay for it, right? So at a certain income threshold, the juice is free. But once you go beyond that, you're gonna pay for it. And like we're gonna pay for, like we are not actually at that threshold at this moment, but we're definitely gonna pay for it. Like and it's totally worth it.
I guess to get the full functionality, it makes sense just to have that without having any like limitations on the.
Oh, definitely. Like it saves you so much time.
That's true. That's true. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna pause it for now. Okay, let's get back to it. So back to what's this thing again? To MusicPutty. When I was using the application, first of all, I was like, okay, this looks like. I'll be honest. I judge a book by its cover sometimes. I looked at the app, it was pretty okay. I was like, this probably wouldn't work. Then I tried recording audio on music memos because that's my workflow. I record on music or voice memos and I send it to whatever I'm doing. I couldn't do it, at least not with the free one. Then I recorded directly there, just like a simple audio track. And I looked at it. I tried doing the pitching. It was really good. And I was like, nah, there's no way. And I played around it and I'm like, whoa, this is insane. Like that was taking a lot of time. Like I was still trying to imagine. Like why? Like why did you decide to do this on iOS?
So actually, I started this whole thing on an app called Nail the Pitch. And that was basically just a pitch detector. And you can still download them on iOS and Android. And for the last 3 years, I've been getting requests, just people saying, hey, how about let me shift the pitch? I can see them, let me shift them. And I just been constantly getting that like request. And also, I saw a lot of people on the audio Bash forum. They are asking for something like this. I'm like, okay, well, if someone's gonna do it, it's probably gonna be me.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, no, and I really do think that it's really, really good for what a boy can do. Hang on, I want to try switching this to another mode. Okay, switching back to this way. We're gonna continue the conversation like a one-on-one. Honestly, I'm thankful you made the application because I've been looking for something to do some like audio edits. Sometimes I used to take my work into Logic on my Mac and then I work on it. But yes, the question that is gonna like make a lot of people like worked up. Why subscription?
Why? The reason is the algorithm actually took a long time to build. That's why. And so the current problem of, can we do that again?
No?
Can we do that again? Sorry, like.
Oh, no worries. Okay.
Yeah.
If you don't want us to record it, I can cut this.
No, we can talk about it. Like actually, let me think how to say. So the current problem with iOS is right now we have a whole bunch of smaller apps that cost like $5 to $10. That's great. Like we think that's what made the whole ecosystem great.
Yes.
But the problem right now is because the existing model, we couldn't really build like more ambitious project.
True.
And if we want to kind of evolve this platform into the next level, like we need those bigger projects.
Yes.
And then the people may say, okay, what about in-app purchase, right?
Yeah.
Like we can do in-app purchase. The problem with in-app purchase is actually it's a short-term solution. Because let's think about this. I have a whole bunch of users, they are buying my app and then they buy some in-app purchase for the first year.
Yeah.
In order to sustain that development, the developer need to spend a lot of time thinking about how they're gonna slice their app into smaller pieces.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. It's horrible for the UX,
yes.
And it just wastes a lot of time on the developer as well. And what's even worse for the new users, they're gonna come to the app, they're gonna pay for the app, and the next thing they see is like 20 in-app purchases. They're gonna be like, I just bought this app, why can't I use it? Which is not something we want to see.
That's true.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's something you mentioned, but this is also what I've been looking at as well. Whenever a developer makes an application and it's like one time, at a certain point they just stop updating. Beatmaker Tree is a good example. Because like they've already sold the app. There is no more funding to sustain the development of the application. That being said, I'm gonna throw a bit of a wrench through this one. What about making it like you do a yearly release? Because that's how a lot of like applications work. Like in the Windows or Mac. like whenever there's a major update or something, they discontinue the old one and then they release the new version of the application that can be purchased.
I actually saw that really carefully. So the older desktop model, you basically release a version and after a couple of years, you release another one.
Yeah.
Great. But for iOS, that doesn't work, especially for the smaller developer, because there is something called basically App Store ranking. Every time you release a new app, if you just like, let's say I have the Beatmaker 1 and 2, like every time you switch from one app to another, you lose all the ranking. And that's the equivalent of moving your restaurant from like a major city center to like a mid of nowhere.
I see.
It murders the smaller developer right away if you do something like that. Because most of our traffic are organic traffic from the App Store.
I see. But does the ranking really matter? And hear me out on this. This has been going a bit off topic. Whenever an application is released, for example, Saga Synth by AudioKit, that thing shut up the charts. As soon as a new app comes in, Saga Synth is just gone.
I know. I was actually watching one of Matthew Fletcher's interview. Like he actually talked about this. It's actually not that difficult to get to the top pay chart. He said it actually only takes like 100 paid apps to actually get there.
Yeah.
But basically, they are totally different games for free app and paid apps. And from my experience, like the one that actually is sustained for long term are all free apps.
Yeah.
Because with free apps, you're gonna have more organic traffic, and that organic traffic is gonna drive even more organic traffic later down the road. But with paid app, once the initial release overs, like finished, you are pretty much done. That's it. Like that's the end of the app. Which is why a lot of developers cannot sustain themselves in that model.
Interesting. Oh, wait, should we go for the music session at Apple? I think it starts now. We almost forgot. Grabbing the coffee, let's get to it. Okay, at the Apple Store, let's get to it. Have you ever used GarageBand before? Have you used GarageBand before?
I use GarageBand. I usually use Cubase.
Nice. Alright, I use both GarageBand and Cubase, and I'm probably going to be using BandLab soon.
That's the one.
Yeah, BandLab is surprisingly good.
Let's take a look.
Okay, so I had a question about like, why aren't you like releasing a lot more applications instead of like delegating to just a few applications?
So basically, every time you release an app, there's a lot of like operational overhead. One basic nightmare scenario is simple. I have 20 apps. Apple changed something on the bottom of my tech stack. Now I have 20 apps I need to basic update. And every single one of those updates could take me weeks to do. And I have, at the same time, I have a whole bunch of users kind of complaining and shouting at me like let's do this. Why are you not updating the app, right? So it's actually way easier for developers to maintain just a few apps, but really good ones, instead of creating a whole bunch of apps.
I see. And you gotta update it for each version of iOS and each device?
Sometimes depends. It's totally random. Like we have no idea what's gonna happen.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. No, that sounds frustrating. Like imagine me having to do the same project over and over and over again. And then if it doesn't work again, or you don't catch something, which reality is you can't see everything. There's no way you have every single thing.
It's very difficult. Sometimes certain devices may have problem with certain iOS versions. There are so many different type of devices now, and the combination is just huge. Like no developer, especially newbie developers, can test every single combination. Yeah.
Okay, let me go back to the forum and see, because I know you released the MusicPutty application, and you got a lot of questions here. Are you okay with covering a few of them?
Sure. Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's have a look at this. MusicPutty. Actually, let me look for your name. That might be easier. Autumn Rock, right? Okay. One thing I found interesting, you actually did like fulfill your promise of importing the recording.
Yeah,
I'm gonna express it. So honestly, that was really, really good. You actually did read the feedback and you went on with it.
Yeah, if I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. But there are a whole bunch of stuff I am gonna do it, but I haven't said it because I usually wanna, like, you don't wanna.
You don't want to promise and then not deliver.
Exactly.
I know. Cyberpunk.
Under promise, over deliver.
Oh man. No, I like that. All right, let's see. You did this one, December. Yeah, I'm trying to find when the thread started popping up like crazy. December. Here we go.
I think most people are understandable.
Yeah, I think it was just a subscription that like a lot of people were like.
Yeah, that's expecting. And also, here's another point. I, like, as a developer, I actually would much rather have 1,000 user who really cares about your app and want to support you instead of 10,000 impulse purchase who are just buying it like as a hobby, I guess. I don't know what they want. And in the long run, the 1,000 true subscriber model is much more sustainable.
That's
and
true.
You can see that on other apps, for example, Nano Studio 2, which is probably the best DAW on iOS as far as I can see. And there are a lot of people who really like that app.
Yeah.
Who would totally subscribe to that app to make it like a long-term thing. But because the model, they went with the one-time purchase model in the beginning, they couldn't do it anymore.
I know. They couldn't even compete.
Yeah, and in the end, it's a loss for both developer and the users. So,
Yeah, like for me, Nano Studio, the biggest surprise was when in 2019 the developer dropped the price to $5. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Us indie developers, we are not like savvy business people most of the time. We want to make people happy, right? And but sometimes, like, because we want to make everybody happy, we end up ruining the whole show for everyone.
In a way, I share the same sentiment. Sometimes there's been times where I've like overdone where I should have just backed up, and then all of a sudden it ended up not being appreciated. That I was like, you know what? Maybe I should have just like stuck to my guns and done what I needed to do. Okay, we're just heading out right now. Well, yeah, it was really fun chatting up with you and learning a bit more about the mindset of iOS developers. Seriously, I do appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me.
No worries. Anyways, guys, hope you have a good one. Stay tuned, and if you like the content, feel free to like and subscribe to the video. It really does help the channel a lot. I'm Sion. This is Awesome Rock, and have a good one. Push.